for today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
And I know I still have weirdness with my microphone, and I don't know what it is. But I still get the ballpark announcer echo from time to time.
The exhaustion is hitting us.
What's that got to do with the microphone?
Nothing. I'm just saying, like, the exhaustion is also hitting us. So it's like... That's like I'm sitting in a different position than I normally do because it's just like I'm that tired.
Yeah, it's odd. It's odd.
So the more than likely that I'm going to get the ballpark effect too.
I don't know that you will. I think it has to do. I don't know what it has to do. If I had known how it was worked, I would have fixed it by now.
I'm talking into basically what is kind of the top of it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea. I found this highly interesting. There's lots of things that's if you are one of the people that like to observe, and that is something that if you can at this point, instead of getting caught up into things, sort of back off and just observe.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Horrifying, but fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this is a real story that off of Daily Star, and I will include the link, which basically it's just what we've got on the screen, which was that group of psychics was having an event, had sold out tickets, had to be canceled due to or for unforeseen circumstances.
Huh?
Yeah. You just sort of have to let that sink in just for a minute.
Are those the ones that are saying that they're trying to like, or saying that they're right all the time?
Apparently they're not. If it was unforeseen circumstances.
Right.
And that's one of the things that is going on in our world today with the so-called experts. And it's like, if they're human, they're prone to error.
Uh-huh.
If you expect them to not be prone to error, then that's an unrealistic expectation.
Yep.
Because you've got a lot of these people, are they very willing to take on this, false godhood status? Oh, yeah. Lots of them. But what is interesting is how quickly and how easily other people are willing to put others, for whatever reason, upon a pedestal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's very strange to me. And it's just like Robert Phoenix over on Rumble, and you can go over on Rumble and 15 minutes of flame. It's OV flame. Because Rumble believes in free speech, and he can discuss things over there that he can't on YouTube. There's a lot of people that go on to Rumble for that reason.
Yeah.
And that you can do. BitChute at this point, as far as I know, does not have the ability to live stream. They working. They smiler.
Mm-hmm.
But Rumble has made a lot of advancements. Look for them to do more big things. But Robert has been going down the rabbit hole of the philosopher Nietzsche. That's some big brain stuff. That's some wrinkle brain stuff.
Yeah, because you and Elijah both have discussed Nietzsche, and it's like...
I have a different take on philosophers than a lot of other people do. I have the same take on, as far as academics, because I have a very stoic philosophy on some of these things. Which is, if somebody has if that's all they have to do with their day is sit around and ponder great ponderings, okay, well and good. Usually these people are wealthy because other people are too busy trying to make a living and support themselves and their families.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how a lot of these big brain people cannot do everyday practical things.
Yeah.
Could Nietzsche change a tire if need be?
More than likely not.
Right.
They have all the time in the world just to sit and think.
And that doesn't mean just because that they think it, is it reality?
Right. They're fallible. Now, they can have some good points, here and there, but they're all fallible to some extent because people are fallible in general, like you said.
Yes.
There was only one perfect person who could rattle off the truth.
Yes.
100%. That was Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
The philosophers, for them, it's mainly just theory.
It's
or just ponderings.
Right, pondering great ponders. But the thing is, there's other people that ponder great ponders, but you never know about them.
No.
How is it that some are elevated to such huge status to where their works and whatever, they act like it dropped down from on high, which it did not. And this is one of the things as far as the Stoicism and a lot of the Eastern philosophy, which is a matter of simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the philosophies of Western, philosophers,
Yeah.
big brains, according to whom? According to whom?
Just because they got like big letters behind their names.
And it's like, to be impractical? No. I believe in being humble.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things as far as, like I said, some of the Eastern way of thought. That simplicity. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
If it's as simple as washing a dish, which can be moving Zen and can be a very meditative practice. I've done it before, especially when I was going through some hard times. And it's like, is there a point in time when you need to stop thinking? Yes. Because that can drive you into the ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if you have a point of view that's popular, that is erroneous, then you've got a whole lot of deceived people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've got going on right now.
Yeah. Blind leading the blind.
It is the blind leading the blind. And I was thinking about this earlier today as far as the different phases of life. It's like the seasons. We have spring, summer, winter, and fall. Fall and winter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like how that people in our society currently have wanted to downplay and or reject, well, not only reality, but the reality of how people age.
There's a whole lot into that. Like, that's what the whole movie The Substance was.
Uh-huh.
And not like the star not being able to accept the fact that they're aging.
Yeah.
And then they take this drug that literally harms them.
Right.
By splitting them open in the back, causing cloning, basically.
Mm-hmm. A false copy.
Uh-huh.
And that we can see how through media and even thoughts and people's like Nietzsche and stuff like that it has caused disease within our society. Because we're out of balance.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the shit? Did you see that? I would figure that this clip got to you at some point. The South Park clip of Oprah basically killing a child for adrenochrome.
That doesn't surprise me. As far as South Park and or the reality of that, I don't know. I know I've heard lots and lots of rumors. I can't substantiate anything.
Well,
these people are going to have to stand and give an account for God at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was actually listening to Stefan Barnes, and he had a couple of days ago, because my time has been weird and my body function weird. And he did this wonderful, he has these wonderful meditations that he does. And he was talking about as far as shifting energies with the planetary alignments and stuff like that. We have seen just a total imbalance between both male and female energies. And it's just, for some people, it has been maddening. And to sit there and go, part of the problem is getting rid of, through media and stuff, out of sight, out of mind, especially when it comes to older people. Older people used to be the ones that people would go to, the younger ones would go to and ask them stuff.
Yeah, because that's where wisdom was.
Because they had lived through it. They had gone through stuff. They survived. Well, they did something right, or they wouldn't have lived to be old. But now, what have you got? You've got a lot of these kids asking other kids, well, how the hell are they supposed to know?
Well, in all honesty, some of them do try to, like, if they have gone to their parents or grandparents for advice, sometimes they were ridiculed or made fun of or whatever, so they don't go to them. And so it's,
Because everything's out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as here, you do have these women and stuff like that because of the media feel the need in their 60s and 70s to have all these surgeries to look freakish.
Mm-hmm. And also it's the rise of a lot of arrogance.
Oh, it's total, complete hedonism.
Yeah.
And that we are seeing some severe effects in our society today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, people do not understand. This has gone on so long, and there has been so much brainwashing and psychological damage done at this point that some people don't understand what normal is. Because it's amazing. Humans are very adaptable creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible how easily a totally abnormal circumstance, whatever, can soon be viewed as normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like some of the kids that I've worked with and stuff when I was counseling. Okay, if you've got a family that's highly dysfunctional, and it's like, and I've asked this before on some of it's like, okay, did you watch TV? Yes. Did you watch some of the sitcoms and stuff where families were? Yes. Did you not think that then go back and look at your family and see that there was a difference? And a lot of it, no, they did not. Part of that was kid brain.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Did you ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Maybe at some
It was
point.
a very realistic view as far as modern families at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Both parents working,
Mm-hmm.
kids basically a low income family too, so it's just.
So it was Gen X, is that what you're talking about?
I guess so.
It's like, here, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it wasn't just Gen X, because way before all that stuff, that was how things were done. Children, in some ways, were viewed as, I mean, they always had their part to play. By the time that they were able to do stuff, they were taught to do stuff to benefit the family or, and the community or whatever, It wasn't them just sitting there being bored. There was no time to be bored. It was a matter of survival.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked better.
Well, that's in quite a few families. Quite a bunch. It was children are supposed to be seen, not heard.
Yeah.
That's not a way that it should be.
It depends on the child. It depends on the circumstances, because I watched a video the other day of a child who has had absolutely no discipline in her life go into a Walmart, start breaking shit.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody just standing around there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
our society is so out of balance.
But that's different from just being like, nope, not dealing with you. Don't want anything to do with you. Go in there. That's different. That is a complete, like, they're just giving in to her tantrums.
It was a social structure. It was a different social structure.
That child should have been yanked up and, had a whipping.
Well, and it's one of those that we have a tendency to look at the past through the lens of today, and you're always going to have skewed vision when you do that. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons as far as children should be seen and not heard was that they were expected to listen to the adults and glean information from what the adults were talking about.
Right.
So that was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can look back and it's like, oh, well, that was horrible. And we've got things that's going on today that's horrible. We just don't always see them as such.
No, we don't.
But within this, as far as, that was why several weeks back proposing the cyber grannies.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you have to have people that are willing to learn. And we have gone so far down the rabbit hole that even if you do present the information, that doesn't mean that you're going to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And the social media thing is quite fascinating. You got to have the right, clickbait title, the clickbait thumbnail, and that they're teaching people how to do this. Oh, you have to do it. You have to follow the formula.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't follow the formula, you're penalized. You're being penalized for being individual within the social media realm.
Question. If generational curses, if people are supposed to break generational curses, how else are they supposed to do that without, how are they supposed to do that?
I'm not quite sure.
Give me a second. My brain ain't working. I don't understand why it's not working. This is frustrating. You can go to elders for advice and knowledge, but certain behaviors that they exhibited, you can't take that on. Like if it's an abusive thing, you can't take that on.
It depends on the circumstances, and it's like everybody's wanting a one-size-fits-all, and it's not. It's not. Because, go back to the original, humans are fallible.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand it's not a one-size-fits-all. That's why I'm saying that. Because there's certain, for example, narcissistic behaviors, nobody wants that. So you don't, if the parent's just going to ridicule you, even if you ask a question or for advice, you ain't going to go to them.
Well, that's where grandparents used to step in. And like I said, the society at this point is so far down the rabbit hole and so broken in some areas. I mean, it's like if we, and it's not the magical Amish, but the Amish are a group of people that people can learn a lot of things from.
Mm-hmm. There are.
And you have the families, but it is also that sense of community.
Yeah.
Within that community, you have elders.
Mm-hmm.
And, people's like, oh, you don't have to have any kind of hierarchy. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We're seeing what happens when you have somebody that is young and has no experience on doing anything that is placed in a position of power. How does that work? That's kind of not good.
No, that is not good.
So you have to have some kind of structure.
Mm-hmm.
People are wanting total anarchy, and it's like no kind of structure anywhere. Okay, anarchy can only work if everybody plays nice. Humans are broken. They're never going to play nice.
No.
Lord of the Flies. You can go back and look at that.
Now that is anarchy right there.
Yeah.
That's pure. If everybody's doing their own thing, there's no order whatsoever. That is anarchy.
Right.
To have a civilization, people do have to learn how to get along, deal with each other's differences, look past it.
Yeah. So it used to be within communities and stuff like that, or back when people had churches and different organizations. The church in this area was one of the main, meeting places for people for a variety of reasons. And so some of them were good, some of them were bad because they're filled with people. And this is one of the things when you've got the people that are in the crone stage of life and all they do is sit around and gossip, that is counterproductive.
Yeah.
That is part of the imbalance because that is that dark feminine energy, which is poisonous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of kids don't go to even their grandparents now, is because it is like that.
Like I said, we're so far down the rabbit hole.
I think it's we're so far down it, only God can get us out.
Absolutely.
And so it's just sort of shit.
But it is incredible how that you will, like these Kardashian people. What is their claim to fame?
Kim Kardashian had a sex tape. That was it.
Mm.
And she was friends with Paris Hilton.
Mm.
She was a rich girl that was friends with already another famous rich girl.
So it was manufactured by the media for whatever reason to further an agenda.
Yeah, fully. Because this is my opinion. There is no value in Kim Kardashian whatsoever. There is not really any redeemable. She doesn't have that great of a personality. People say that she's hilarious. She's really not.
What does she do?
She's vapid as all shit. She acts. That's it.
And what?
She was in a whole season of American Horror Story, and then she's like had the Skims line, and obviously the Kardashian show and all that.
Okay, so she's famous for
being famous,
pretending to be someone she isn't, producing things that she may or may not have designed for herself, and promoting an unrealistic expectation and beauty image and body image for women.
Well, Kris Jenner...
Well, that doesn't sound good.
No. Well, Kris Jenner, I believe, sort of had a role to play in that anyway, because she was tied up in that Diddy situation, so...
So, and a lot... This is one
Kris
of the
Jenner
things...
is Kim Kardashian's mother.
This is one of the things that we are realizing that a lot of people... Some of us have known this for a very long period of time. Is that the illusion that people have been sold. And it can be heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. It really, really can. But if you let go of the illusion and get back to creating, and that goes as far as individuals. Mm-hmm. Create yourself to, be the hero of your own story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be the person that that God designed you to be. I think people choose to be hurtful and hateful and different things like that. Regardless of circumstances, you still have choice.
You do.
I have seen that.
Mm-hmm. And you have to have a certain level of self-awareness to realize, oh shit, this is actually, this isn't just funny to me. This is actually hurting somebody.
Absolutely, because everything's got a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. If you have, whether you do good to somebody or harm, it has a ripple effect. And you're be held responsible. This is why people don't want to believe in God, is because they want to be able to do whatever they want to do with no consequences. And some of that stuff's being promoted. Guess what? God is. Mm-hmm. There are actual consequences.
There's always consequences for actions.
Sure.
Always.
Sure.
And I think one reason why people don't want to hear consequences is because it has always been used in a negative connotation too, which most of the time, that's usually when it's used, is when it's like, well, you fucked around, find out, you got the consequences of your actions. Mm-hmm. But there's consequences of good actions too.
There are. But I think sometimes we don't see those. They don't. And maybe that's what it is. We just don't see it. That it doesn't manifest in the way that we think it would or should or could. Mm-hmm.
It's not in the way that we want it or the way that we idealized it.
Right.
So it's like we either just ignore it or just try to rationalize it or something else.
Well, and some of it is told that we have to wait on the reward. Mm-hmm. And nobody likes to wait. It's like the one cookie now or two cookies later. I'd rather have the two cookies later.
Yeah.
Because what is there that people want? It's like you see these people that they have all the money and all the plastic surgeries and everything, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
Who would want that?
They got the vanity. They got the beauty. Those are the people that are just... that's always been... They just shallow people that have just been... it's all about me, all about me, all about me, and the way that I look, the way that I sound, whatever the fuck,
And the young are so gullible when it comes to things like that. They think that is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not.
No.
No joke, but that's the vanity thing. That's why you see so many celebrities getting plastic surgery over the years, all that. Like, even back in the 1950s, like, for example, Judy Garland, she wore these things called nose discs, and you put them in your nostrils. And so, basically, to make them more round, to give her a more button-nosed effect.
Wow.
This shit runs deep.
Yeah. It's all an illusion.
Yeah.
All an illusion. And that is one of the things that I can see how tech is changing that.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck kind of plastic surgery they got now. No joke. I'm convinced that it is similar to the substance. Because some of these women are just... Like Christina Aguilera. She's like 40-something.
Mm-hmm.
And now, all of a sudden, she looks like she's back in her early 20s.
Yeah, I saw
There's
that's
suspicious.
Weird. That's weird. But anybody... How many times have we watched people, just regular people... that have made a video that are doing incredible things?
Oh, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there. But some platforms don't push it. And YouTube honestly does that fucking pay-to-play bullshit.
Yeah, they do.
And TikTok has the only reason YouTube has started doing that was because TikTok did it first.
Right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what comes of... YouTube, especially at the first of the year with the Google thing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that's going to be very, very interesting.
I kind of hope that it goes back to the way that it was, where anybody...
Individuals.
Yeah.
Just doing random, interesting, odd stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the good stuff. Whether it was the claymation or what was it that I had found the other day that was just random. Oh,
brother, I crave the forbidden light.
God, that was brilliant.
There's people like that still do that. It's just they're not all.
They get throttled.
Yeah, they do. That's like one of the tech people, Fran Lab. I listen to her I listen to her every now and again. She's a tech person. She has made like pedal boards for guitars and stuff like that, like full on, like program them, all that.
Cool.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She's been throttled majorly.
She needs to go over to Rumble. Even though Rumble is not there yet, encourage other people. Go over there. Have a second channel over there.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead and just, like I said, just have the content there. The more people that are willing to put content over there, the better that platform is going to be. Mm-hmm. Like I said, YouTube was not built overnight.
No. I can't remember when YouTube started originally, but it really started popping off. Like, it really started popping off in, like, 2008, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think where the hell I was in 2008. It's like
another of us.
Walking floors and walking stairs, I think is where I was.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to worry about the YouTubes.
I don't think neither. Anyone was... Like, anyone that was on the computer semi-often, that's... Yeah. Mm-hmm. But other people that were still, like, doing their day-to-day lives or going to school or whatever, they weren't really focused on that shit.
Well, they need to go back and refocus on their everyday lives.
Yeah. That's the thing. People need to touch grass, and that's sort of how we got in this situation a lot because the people have become disconnected.
They have, and that is part of the imbalance.
But they're like, oh, the internet's supposed to connect all. It's disconnecting y'all more.
Yeah, and when you it's a tool like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody that's not happy in their own life, it becomes, a distraction. You've got the illusion again.
A distraction or a weapon.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And or.
And like I said, it's a matter of individuality on any of this stuff.
But there's a lot of... And as far as like... You say that people don't go to to older people for advice. Like, I go to you for advice.
Yeah.
Nana, not so much.
I understand that.
But on certain things, I will ask her... because there is some, like, she does still have valuable knowledge here and there.
Sure.
Dad, even though he has valuable knowledge, there's a lot of advice that I can get from him and Vicky.
Sure.
And there's a bunch of other older people that I am actually subscribed to that I do enjoy listening and watching to, or watching.
Yes. Because what they have to offer has value.
Mm-hmm. That's like the Skyrim granny.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, she's good at video games. She really is.
Yeah.
And like any of her subscribers are called her grandchildren, and it's like, I love you.
They need the cyber grannies. The cyber grannies are needed.
The first time I heard about her was on Tumblr back in like 2015, I think. And I've been watching her since. I adore her.
And it's like it's one of those things that Western culture and
Not
the
anymore.
imbalance that we have going on right now. And God help us. That's the only thing. I think you're right. The only thing at this point, God said in 2013, when he does what he's going to do, it'll be a way that no man can take credit. Everybody will know it was God. Now, that sounds kind of big.
Oh, yeah. We don't know what that
I
entails,
have
though.
no clue, because I have learned a long time ago when I get words like that, that's up to God. It's just like, okay, and you go on. Go on with your day.
Whatever it is, it's going to be big. I'm excited.
Yeah. Final thoughts, kid.
I love God.
He's very easy to love when you get to know him. Not the bad press that he's had for many, many years, that he's still getting.
Oh, get this.
To know him.
This one girl was like, Christ consciousness is the Bible talks against that. Christ consciousness. You got to have a relationship with God. I mean, yeah, you do have to have a relationship with Christ. But Christ consciousness? What? This is the same girl that said the Bible proves that the earth is flat by saying the four corners. And I was about to respond to her, and I was like, girl, you said that the earth is flat because the Bible said the four corners, when that actually entailed the north, south, east, and west.
Well, it's like this. The Christ consciousness is a term that is thrown around in New Age circles that wants to deny that Christ was an actual human, that they think that God is just some kind of amorphic, ethereal substance, rather than acknowledging that God is an individual, being that has feelings.
He lived here. He lived his life.
They don't want
He
to
sacrificed his
that.
life for us.
Again, these are people that want to discount any kind of culpability, any kind of responsibility. And that's sort of like, even with reincarnation, to do over and over and over. Well, first of all, that would be remarkably cruel.
That would be sort of a hell in of itself.
It would be. But to sit there and go, oh, oopsies, I get to do do-overs. No. But people are ultimately going to have to reach their own conclusion. And a lot of people, it's like anything else, they don't want to do the work. They want surface level, and that's it. Guess what? That's what they'll get, is surface level. That's it. That was never good enough for me. I didn't want to know about God. I wanted to know God. And it's an incredible journey. Something you walk every day in various and sundry ways. So, everybody's having paranormal and supernatural experiences. Everybody. You want to tell them where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Warlanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Warlanda, COCWS. Check it out. It's really cool on there.
Yeah, I have fun. Some days more so than others. I post a lot from the Bigfoot Museum.
Today was not a lot of memes that I saw.
There was not as much activity on X today as I thought. Maybe everybody's got the tired.
Honestly, though, like for real, even on doll Twitter, there wasn't much today.
Yeah, it was just sort of very lull.
By the way, Robert, I'm sorry that you were inundated with doll stuff now that you follow me.
He won't mind. He has a Gen Z Pisces son. I'd say he probably understands a great deal about you. So, I have a lot of respect for Robert. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Bye.
Bye.